What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of Growth Talk Podcast. I'm with my host, Miss Lovely Nay James, and we have a special guest this evening, Miss Olivia Folks. I am super excited for y'all to get to know her. She's an incredible being, an amazing spirit, hard worker. She has no quit in her. She's a mother of 2, and she just finished her new memoir, Out of the Darkness into the Light. I just copped my order, so I can't wait to get it. Man, just super excited, so proud of you, but we're gonna jump right into it. Olivia, go ahead and let us know, who you are, where you from, just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm Olivia Folks. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've lived here my whole entire life. Graduated high school from Lancaster High School, and I also went to Texas Southern University. From there, I went to a trade school and got my trade as a pharmacy technician. Pharmacy technician. I got my license and worked in it for a little bit. And from there, I just, kept going, kept striving, trying to figure out, the correct journey for myself. I am a mother of 2 beautiful princesses, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. They keep me going. They keep me motivated. They keep me tired. I have my own business called Journey to Inspire. It's an online presence where I'm just embracing women, men, just anyone that's on their journey to embrace their journey, because it's all for a reason. God has them there for a reason, and I'm learning that myself. I tell myself that I'm becoming an expert at trusting God's process, because it's not my process, it's His process. So within that, I'm learning to embrace where I am, no matter where it is, no matter how I feel. I'm learning to embrace where I am. So I am encouraging others to embrace where they are, because I remember when I was in another season of my life that didn't look like the season that I'm in. So I embraced that to get to this where I am today, which is a published author of a children's book called Prayer is Talking to God. Of course, it was put in mind for my daughters, because I didn't even, they was a surprise. So a children's book was never in my plan. So for God grace to birth that through me, from me having my daughters out of a surprise, I was like, wow, God, that's so beautiful. And also I published a prayer journal as well. I am a avid journal. I journal. I write down everything. I write. And I feel like that has brought me a long way. So I was like, I want to put out something for myself to use, because I have so many journals. And I was like, someone else can use this as well. So even God's grace birthing that, I feel like God has birthed all of this. I feel like it's none of me and all of Him. So that's where I am today, a published author. Um, Aspiring real estate investor. I'm working towards that. Um, and just an online presence, and just being a leader to the individuals that's around me through serving God.
Let's go.
I love it. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That is, and congratulations. Like
Thank
that is
Sure.
really big. Like, and like you're glowing, like you just seem like you just have like the, oh my gosh, like that aura about yourself. Like, so what would you say is some of your values?
I would say my number one value is putting God first, and knowing that I can't do anything without Him. So if that's my value, that's the pillar that I'm standing on. I want to instill that into my daughters, that we can't move without Him. We can't do nothing without Him. So that's my number one value. The next is just having integrity, being honest. I always say I'm trying to live an honest life, even if I have some thoughts to be like, let me do something. I don't got no business. I'm like, no, I wanna live an honest life. So just being honest with myself, and just having that integrity about myself, and also just instilling those values within my daughters. And recently, my values have grown to the 7 virtues, which is compassion, patience, love, kindness, gentleness, forgiveness, and humility. God has been working on me with that everything you do needs to be around these 7. And so I'm applying them to my life daily, working on applying them to my life daily, and also instilling those 7 virtues into my daughters as well.
I like that.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I know. Oh no, Nate,
Amazing.
you have to say something. My bad.
No, I was just saying just how amazing it is. Like, oh my goodness.
For real.
I'm excited to be here, just to have this opportunity.
And we're excited.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for jumping on. Because I know you're busy.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot going on, and being an entrepreneur, business owner, having little ones, it can be, it can be a lot, and
Yes.
you handling it amazingly. So just thank you for carving out the time and just blessing our podcast with your presence.
For sure. Always and forever.
For sure. So I know on this journey, this journey is not easy. It can be challenging. It can be tough. And I know you had, been through some challenges. How did you overcome them? And if you want to share one of them that may, to shine some light and just share how you overcame that challenge or challenges, what's something that's helped you overcome them?
Oh yes, I don't mind sharing the journey, because the journey it's not all glitz and glamour. It's not all butterfly and roses. It's been a challenge from day one. From the moment I just, called myself building my relationship with God, it's been a challenge after challenge after challenge. And I heard a message one day, and they said, the reward for completing a challenge is the next challenge. I was like, that's deep, because that's exactly how it's been. So I would go back to, it's not my first challenge, but it was a major challenge in my life, which was losing my dad. When I lost my dad, my world was upside down, because I was a daddy's girl from a little girl. Like, all I wanted to do was be around my daddy. I don't care if he was going to do whatever. Take me with you. So I feel like God was preparing me for the moments, that I was losing him and when I lost him. But I still had to go through a process of learning how to deal with my emotions. And when I lost him, like, my emotions just went up in the air. I threw everything out the window. God, what I done read all these years, because I started my relationship with God in 2013. Then I went on a hunt to figure out who he was, because I didn't know who he was. So from 2013 to when I lost my dad in 2017, I was full of getting to know who God was. And I feel like during that season, he was showing me that I'm the God of the good and when things go wrong. But I didn't know that at the time. So he allowed me to experience throwing my emotions up in the air. And my kids came out of me losing my dad, because I threw my values out the window. I threw my self-respect out the window. I threw everything out the window because I lost my dad. That was the person that kept me together. Like, oh, let me not do that because my daddy gonna get me. Like, let me not be over here going out drinking because my daddy gonna get me. Like, I feel like he was the one that kept that, like that good fear, like let me not do something because my daddy don't play type of fear. So once he passed, I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Don't nobody else hold me accountable. Don't nobody else be on my head about my goals and about my dreams. My mom was there, but my mom is the nurturer. Oh, it's okay. But my dad was like, Olivia, stop playing and get yourself together. He always had that always had that relationship. So when he passed, I threw everything that I knew he taught me out the window. I threw everything that I read in the Bible out the window. And I didn't know what to do with my feelings. So I ended up with my daughter, my first daughter, just not caring about life at that moment, just resulting back to my old ways that God delivered me from, which was handling my emotions through, sexual desires, and not, just thinking, oh, this guy's here, he trying to comfort me and just knowing that wasn't the route I was supposed to take, because I had learned that through reading the Bible and getting to know who God was. But I resorted back to that because that's all I knew before I knew God was, oh, this guy here, he gonna help me take my mind off of what's going on, which some people use drugs, alcohol to take their mind off of stuff, and I use the attention of the wrong individual. So once I realized what I was doing, I was like, I don't supposed to be here. Like with that individual, I don't supposed to be here. I started coming back to myself like, Olivia, what are you doing? You've been growing for however many years you've been growing. So what's going on? Why are you here, laying next to this guy when that's not you anymore? So I woke up, and by the time I woke up, I was pregnant. Like, the baby already on the way now. So once I woke up, that's when God started to build me back up. Like, you needed to experience that, Olivia. But I got back in my Bible. I was like, I don't know how this worked, God, but I'm sorry. And I just picked up where I left off, reading my Bible, praying, Lord, forgive me. And he showed me twice, because I had my babies back to back. They're 2 years apart. So my first daughter came out of my emotions. And then the second year, it was out of my emotions as well, of everything that's going on. And each time I kept throwing my emotions out the window. And God was just showing me, Olivia, you can't throw everything out the window when things get hard and confused and uncomfortable. I need you to know that I'm here in that confusion. I need you to know that you don't have to throw everything out the window when you don't know what to do with your feelings or your emotions. So that was the journey he took me through, of the challenge of losing my daddy, that even without your dad, I'm here. Like, I'm the father to the fatherless. And once I read that, I was like, I never seen that like that before. You said you the father to the fatherless. I'm fatherless right now. And I was just, emotional, not knowing what to do. So when I read that, I accepted him as my father. Like, Lord, hold me accountable. Show me when I'm doing the wrong thing. Show me myself. Show me when I'm getting ready to throw my emotions out the window, so you can, like, as my daddy will be here, holding me accountable. So that was that major challenge, which, out of that came my 2 kids of losing my dad. And just how I got through that was just picking back up where I left off. And I thank God for allowing me to build that foundation before I lost my dad, from 2013 to 2017. He was allowing me to build that foundation. So when I failed, I knew where to go back to pick up where I left off.
Yes.
So from 2013 to 2017, were your virtues already in play, or did they blossom even more?
I just learned the virtues like last year. So I'm still learning, I'm still growing. So 2013, 2017, I think I was just discovering who he was, because I knew he existed, but I didn't know, like, all I knew was my granny say, you better pray, or I heard her praying. So I'm like, oh, I just pray. I don't know who I'm praying for, who I'm praying to. I'm just praying and going to church. I ain't know what we were doing. I'm just like, my granny told me I got to pray when I don't know, when things get hard or if somebody's sick, I'm supposed to pray. So when he saved me in 2013, that's when I was like, I want to know who I'm praying to. I want to know who saved me from myself. Like, I want to know who that is. So 2013 to 2017 and beyond, I just been discovering who it was that saved me.
That's amazing. Man, most people walking in your shoes wouldn't even been able to make it. Because I know that process and just all of that wasn't easy. And I salute you like, so much, because that, I know that's a lot. But I know, like you said, it's helped who you become. And that's what's so beautiful about it, that God will take something that the enemy meant for hurt and he'll use it for our good, which is amazing. And that's something I have to always tell myself when going through challenging times and stuff like that. So, man, it's just amazing to see, like, through all of that, like, look at you right now, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's so beautiful about it.
I was just actually talking about that the other day with a mentor. He told me to read James 5. and it talks about trials and tribulations.
Mhm. I knew I'm about to write that down.
Yes.
Like, get that down. You about to have me on her crying and stuff. We supposed to be doing an interview, and like,
Oh my goodness, yes, it's been
because I know it, and like I can relate. That's why it was just like, like, oh my goodness,
yes.
But like, what is your perspective on growth? Like, how do you like view it?
On growth, I feel like it's a never-ending journey, and that we can never reach our full potential because who created us, and we don't know. Like, it's unlimitless. So of my growth. So I feel like growth is just developing who you are daily, like challenging yourself daily to be better than who you were yesterday. And that's what I try each day. It's just, okay, what worked yesterday? I mean, what didn't work yesterday that I can, put into play today to help me continue to grow. So I just feel like growth is just evaluating everything that's going on and seeing where can you, and for one, include God in first, like, because if something not working is because we're not connecting to our source in that area. So I'm like, okay, Lord, this didn't work, so can you help me? I'm learning that as the more I grow, I'm learning that my secret to success is Lord help me. So that's my that's that's my perspective on growth. Is that's my secret. Everything else is gonna come because all I supposed to be doing is Lord help me. Lord help me, because I don't know. I didn't send myself out here, so I need you to help me to figure this out. And he would do it each and every time. But sometimes I just be trying to do it on my own.
That's yes, that's real. That's something I discovered too, because I'll be at work. It'd be some different stuff I got going on. It'd be some I'll be like, Lord, now you know. I don't know what to do with this. Help. Like for real. So that's in this, I would say 2021, that was something, the same thing of the Lord help me. So I can definitely relate to that. That in just that simple question builds the intimacy so much. So yeah.
And excuse me if I said it earlier. It's James 1.
Oh, James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, James 1. Sorry about that.
No, you good, bro.
Okay.
So
I can't remember what I said. I think I said James 5 on accident.
Oh yeah, James 5.
Yeah, James 1. It's James 1.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we need to read James 5 too. Shoot.
You heard me. I was just
James 1 and 5.
Yeah,
it's good about trials, man.
Okay.
Yes. I had kind of spoke on something like that on Sunday. Like, just seeing God bring me to now I speak at my church. I'm like, Lord, I didn't see myself being here when I'm speaking on, like, speaking to your people. I honestly just be sitting here like, Lord, I can't believe this is where I'm at. Like, I'm really up here preaching or teaching. I don't even know what to call it. I'm up here doing this in front of your people, but it was about the process and how the process it's not all fun, and it's not all just about the good, good thing, the good part of everything. It's also some trials and tribulations, like you said, some trouble, some storms. But I preached on how God has planted us as the oaks of righteousness to weather those storms, weather the trials and tribulations. But yeah, I think I did pretty good. I'm still learning how
You're still going.
Yeah, I'm learning how to get in front of people and have that full confidence and just putting his message out there to his people.
That's awesome. I've been watching some of your videos too. Like, how's that with you preaching? How was that? How did that come about? One, and then what was your experience like with doing it after you did it?
Oh my goodness. For one, it's funny because I wrote it down I feel like God downloaded my business plan for Journey to Inspire, and it had speaking on there. I'm like, I don't even like speaking to people one-on-one. But I wrote it anyway. I wrote it, and when he downloaded it to me, it was like and I feel like my mind had been blocked for so many years. I know I want to be an entrepreneur. I know I want to do something, but he didn't download it to me into this one instance. So it was just funny that when I look back over my business plan, it had speaking on it, and I was like, Lord, and I wrote the business plan in 2020. So 2021 was the first time I actually spoke at the church. And I was like, when I went back, I was like, "Really speaking is on there, and now I'm actually speaking." So to see me like actually living it out right now, it's amazing. But it came about, I joined the new church. It was my mom's best friend and her husband. They started a church, and my mom came home and she was like, it's a small church that growing, and I knew I wanted to be somewhere that I can get under mentorship spiritually. And once I went to go hear him speak, I was like, oh, he's speaking the word, the truth, and I like the fact that it was a growing church. So I went and then visited to see if that's where I wanted to be. And then I asked God for confirmation, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? And then I had a dream about it, and he gave me confirmation. So I joined the church, and then the first week, they was going out to feed the homeless. And that's something me and my dad used to like doing. And my mom, we all used to like going to go feed the homeless. So I'm like, oh, that's a plus. Yes, I'm supposed to be here. And so they on Friday, they all come together as a church and pack up the bags that we're going to give out. So that Friday, that was my first time just being in the atmosphere with the church members, the pastor, and everything. So as we're in there working, he was just talking to me, asking me questions, and I've been quiet since forever. I don't talk, I smile and answer questions, but that's about it. But he was making me talk. And the more he made me talk, he was like, you got some word in you. I was like, all I do is read. Like, that's all I honestly do is just read the Bible. I try to do it every day. No, I do it every day now, but I mostly just read and try to get understanding and wisdom. So when he heard me speaking to him just one-on-one, we was in the kitchen making sandwiches. He was like, you got some word in you. You know what? You gonna preach in 2 Sundays. I'm like, preach what? I was like, what? Like, I started making sandwiches and everything. And what was so funny, because my mom joined first, and they was like, oh, you can do a sermon. I mean, you can do a message in November. And I think at that time it was like, oh, that's one reason I want to go to the church. I'm like, oh, they got you doing a sermon. I want to hear you. And I was interested because I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll be up there. But they put my mom's out all the way to November. So when I was at the gathering, packing the bags, and he said 2 weeks from there, I was like, what? My mom's not until November, so why I got to do mine in 2 weeks? And I never been in front of people or nothing. Like, I stand away. I avoid that as much as possible. All my life, I was like, I'm not going up there and get on no mic. I ain't gonna do that. So when he said that, I was like, what? 2 weeks? So when that 2 weeks came, I went up there and spoke. And I have like a process where I'm so used to being on my knees praying at home. I was like, okay, if I'm going up here, I'm about to go to my secret place, which is my bathroom, and I get on my knees and pray and ask God to help me. And I did that the first time, and I think this was my 3rd time speaking now. So each time before we go, I go into the church bathroom and, just get on my knees and pray and ask God to help me. And then I don't even think about being up there. It's still some areas I can work on that, that's gonna come with me, that, keep practicing.
Right.
But before I go up there, I go in there, talk to my Father, and I come out ready for whatever. And then when they tell me, they're like, Olivia, you seem like you've been doing this for a long time. Like, because I'll be up there feeling like my voice shaking, hands shaking. But yeah, it's been a great experience with this being my 3rd time speaking. And I'm just willing to let him keep using me in that area, just speaking to people.
Yes, that's awesome.
Nay, you all right over there?
Right now.
That is so amazing. I'm speechless, y'all. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. This is so amazing. Oh my God, you're so amazing already. This is so crazy. Okay. Y'all know I'm the emotional one in the community.
Oh my goodness.
But oh my God, that is just so amazing. I don't even know what to. Does anyone else? Because I'm kind of speechless right now. Y'all go ahead. I'm trying to.
I wanted to ask you about your book. So how did that? I know you like this isn't your first book. Like you said, you wrote some kid books. You came out with the journal as well, the prayer journal as well. And but with the book, with your new book, elaborate a little bit on that without giving everybody too much, because
yes,
y'all gotta go copy if you want the full thing. But yeah, just elaborate on how that came about and kind of give us a little bit, about what's going on in it.
So out of the darkness into the light, it's about my journey of before my relationship with God and during my relationship with God, because like I said, it's a never ending journey. So with this one, it's book one. It's actually a series. So I split it up to where I am a reader. So I was like, I want to make sure that everyone can read it. And I know everyone is busy, got kids. So I wanted to make it to a series book. And with into a series book, it allows the reader to get through it in a good amount of time and also be looking forward to the next one. So I wanted to, and like I said before, it's a never ending journey. So I pray that it's a series of just different life moments as we, as I continue to grow. So with Out of the Darkness into the Light, it came about in 2015. And when I felt that nudge in my heart, mind, to write a book. And I didn't know where that come from, because when I was out there like I'm still kicking it, hanging out with my friends, doing things I don't got no business doing. I'm not thinking about writing no book. So I don't know now I know where it came from. It was God like pulling me to write the book, and it was so strong. And I'm like, I journaled back then, but I never thought about no books or being an author or anything. So when he told me to write the book, I started writing. And during that time, I was going through just relationship issues and just trying to figure out what to do with the relationship part of it. And I was watching somebody on YouTube, and she was like, she do strawberry lettuce. I don't know if y'all heard of strawberry lettuce, but people write in to ask her for relationship advice. So I started to write into her and ask her for relationship advice. And as I'm right, she said, in all her videos, she was like, keep it short, because I got to make these videos to respond to your question. And as I'm writing, I just keep writing. I'm like, she said keep it short, but I'm on page 23 and and I'm still writing. But I was explaining to her my relationship, like I can't ask you a question without giving you the backstory. So as I kept writing, 23 pages turned into 53 pages, and 53 pages turned into 100 pages. I'm like, I can't send this lady this letter. This is not a letter. And so so with that part of it, it was just the relationship part of it. And that's when I started getting that nudge, like, write the book, write a book. And I didn't have a title or anything. I just began to write, and I sectioned that relationship part and then started talking about other things. And like I said, it started in 2015. And as I kept writing, I was like, I don't want these folks to know none of this. I don't even know what to do with this. I'm writing and telling stories, and I'm like, Lord, if my granny read this, she gonna be like Olivia. So I had to go through procrastinating, fear. Like fear held me back for so long from completing my book, because I didn't want people to know my story. Like, Olivia, you were just a quiet, just you do doing all of it? And so I feel like God like built me up, my character, my like just throwing out the window the thoughts of worrying about what everyone else thinks and being obedient to what he told me to do. So we had to go through that process. And with finally completing the book, I finally reached the point, you know what? That young woman needs this more than I should care about what somebody thinks, because this can help, you know, a young woman that's trying to figure out her journey and what to do with her relationship with God versus me worrying about what my pastor or first lady or my mama or somebody think. So as I finished writing it, I finally completed it. It was the happiest day of my life of just completing the edits of it. And from there, I think I just went on to I said I want it out of my hands. Like, I need to let this go. I've been holding on to it for so long. So I finally let it go, sent it to the editor, and got it done. And just the backstory about it, it's about a young woman just going through life, making the bad decisions, birthed out of pain, heartache, confusion. Heartbreak, confusion, and just simply handling her emotions the wrong way. And in the darkness, I was just allowing my emotions to lead me to places that God didn't call me to be, but my emotions led me there. And when my emotions leading me there, I end up in some dark places. But I talk about just how God light was over all in them dark places. Even though I was still over there, his light was still over there as well. His light was always there. I just couldn't see it because I was distracted by so many things that were going on in my life. And it's a journey. It's just talking about my journey of how he held on to me even when I didn't know who he was, when I know who he was and still made decisions that I shouldn't have made, how he still loved me, how he still kept me, how he still covered me. And it's like, Lord, when I read through the edits, I'm like, Lord, you watched me do all this. I'm like, Lord, you watched me do all this and you still love me. But he showed me, yes, my grace covered that my grace covered you doing all that. That's why I still love you. And I knew that you was full of what you were full of. That's why I carried you over here. So now he's like, now that you're in the light, I need you to grab your sisters and let them know, grab your brothers and let them know that I still love them. My light still shine on them and for them, and it's leading their way. So that's where I am now. It's just taking my life stories and showing Mrs. Residual and showing a Jamiee, that even if whether you're in the light or in the dark, just embrace where you are because this light is still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That's good.
yes, that is.
Real good. I love it. And it definitely shows. You can definitely see just God's process. You can just feel like when you're speaking about your testimony, you can feel like what you were going through at that time. Like, I'm super excited to read your book. Like, super excited. And then especially your children's book, because I have 3 daughters and they would love like those books because they love to read. So, woo, yes. That is amazing.
And also, I know y'all mentioned, Jamiee mentioned earlier, like a challenge that I've faced as well. And I just wanted to like just throw it out there because, you know, people think when you're in the light that everything is all peaches and cream as well. Like, oh, I'm in the light and I'm not going to experience trials and tribulations. But even though I still sit here today, you know, full of the glow that you may see, I still have my challenges of like being in the entrepreneurship journey and trying to produce out of that, you know, the steady income and stuff like that. I just want people to know that I'm still embracing where I am, even though I don't have, you know, the idea bank account right now, even though I don't have the idea like car or anything right now. I just want people to see, like, in this challenge of where I am today, being a new entrepreneur, like, I'm trusting God fully, but I'm also, putting in the work, because I read that a worker earns his keep. So I'm trusting that I'm working, Lord, finally, because I've been playing. The first year I was playing, sleeping, chilling, trying to get some rest. But now where I am, I'm like, Lord, I trust you that you say as a worker earn her keep. So let me do my part so I can continue to grow and, go through this process. So that's why I wanted to just put out there as well, that now that I'm in the light don't mean that I still don't have challenges. My challenges may not be the challenges that I had in the dark, but it's still some challenges now that I have that I am still embracing right now where I am today. Of my biggest challenge right now is, like I said, being on the entrepreneur journey and learning how to produce like a steady income to make sure that everything is taken care of, but it may not be there at this moment. So I'm still, like I said, trusting God in this process and believing that He's going to make a way, any way possible.
Yeah.
I'm glad you actually brought that up too, because I think that perception is definitely backwards to people, because you see all the good stuff as far as being your own boss, but then you're going to work twice as hard.
Yes. And a lot of people lately, since I put my book out there, I've been getting a lot of congratulations and you're such an inspiration. And I had to put a video out there, like, I know I claim that this is the year of the Lord's favor, but that favor also looks like being strong enough to weather the storm. I'm still in a storm right now because I may not see something that I want to see. So like, I never want to put it out there that everything all only good and beautiful and easy. No, I want to also show you that I'm still driving my mom's car. Like, yes, I'm still like doing little side things to make sure that money is rolling in, but I'm also having that joy on my face, still trusting God. Like, I want to show people that you can still trust God, especially in the world now that everybody got the car that you want, everybody got, that we're able to see that they living the lifestyle that we want. I want to be the one that show the person that I'm inspiring, like, you don't gotta have all that, you still can be full of joy. Everything may not always be full of happiness, but you will be full of joy because this world don't give you the joy. The world they give it and the world can't take it away. So I'm gonna show them that, I'm gonna still hop on Instagram, posting my reels, doing what I do, full of joy in the midst of my storm, because I'm trusting God to continue to guide me like He always has, out of the darkness and even now in the light.
Yes. And and really, like, honestly, God, what I see, God gave you all the internal riches before everything else about to come. So that's the thing that He's giving you can never be taken away from you, because you got that experience, and through that process, y'all's relationship grew tremendously. So your trust in Him grew on a whole nother level. So when challenges come in this next level that He's bringing you to, you ain't even like you said, what you just said, like, I may be going through the challenge, but I'm not fazed by the challenge, because if He was with me and held it down, and I went through this dark period, because that dark period, I was just thinking about this last night, like, that dark period is really, it's like spiritual warfare in a way. And that's why, to me, the spiritual side of things is the engine, where the world paints for us, just, the material and all of that. And then you get all that and you just like, you know what I mean? It's like, because you missing that spiritual, you missing that engine, and you're content. And that's the best place to be. You content with what God has done and is doing right now. You just patient, like, hey, Lord, I can see you do all this, so I'm just riding your wave, basically. So to see that on you is beautiful, and I'm so proud of you. Like, your growth is amazing, and you've blossomed so much. Like, when we first met, years ago, wow. Like, and I'm not saying, like, we've all grown, you get what I'm saying, and we're gonna continue to grow, but it's just, I just want you to know, like, Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's good to hear it. I may see it or feel it, but just to hear somebody like that they acknowledge and see it, I'm like, okay, Olivia, let's get it.
Yes, because it's about the inside part, and the inside is always going to show on the outside.
Yes.
But just like you said, though, but how the world perceives a whole lot of things, it's not about that. It's about the outside parts. People going to go fix their whole faces, bodies, all that. Not against it, I'm just saying. Just for the world, not even for them. No, for real. Not even for themselves. They're doing it for other people's approval.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, and it makes them feel even worse because they didn't even want to do it in the beginning, but just the being,
they realized it wasn't even worth it.
Nope.
Yeah. And you can correlate that to anything too as well. Just like this conversation, sometimes that hard stuff is not even the bad part about it. It actually makes it worth it.
Yeah.
So if you skip over the hard parts, then when you actually make the pinnacle of success, then it's kind of like, okay, you're there for like a year, you're enjoying it, but then after that year, you kind of like bored with it. But no, when you go through that hard stuff, then you get there, years go by, and you're still like, man, I really did this.
Yes, you appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
You appreciate it and you value it. You hold much more value to it because you know how far you come. So you won't just be quick to, jeopardize it or like even when I think about how far God brought me from far as just the things I used to do. Now I value where I am today to make me not want to how I used to just think and believe and live. Like, no, I value where I am today because I knew how I lived back then. So that compared to this, I'm gonna choose this every time.
Yeah. For real.
Oh my goodness. That is so amazing. Oh my gosh. Woo. Okay. We getting it together over here. Oh my God, Olivia, and it's so crazy. And I'm sorry because I'm kind of getting off the subject. But when Jamiee was telling us who we were inviting on to Growth Talk, I kept saying, okay, it sounds familiar, but I'm not for sure. But then when you was like, I've met Nate before, and I'm like, have you? But we have, and that is so. Like,
because you made that salad that made a
everybody remember that salad, bro. Everybody remember that.
I be in the store. I still be in the store like, oh, I think I tasted some onions in there. I think I tasted some peppers. Like I still be in the store.
You gonna have to patent that, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna bring it into the community too. I'm gonna bring it into the community.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. It's been a pleasure. Like, say that again.
I said I would never forget you because of that salad.
Man, look, I appreciate it. I'm a little cookie. But no, like just your impact is very appreciative. Keep impacting the way that you are. And like you said, you wouldn't have never seen yourself where you are today. But when we do continue to get out of ourselves and just remember that it is God's will, like you said, that joy, that peace, that happiness that the world can't take away, like that's special. Like, oh my goodness, y'all, if I'm sorry, look, Miss Olivia, please, what type of value can you give to the listeners right now? Like, just for everyone that's tuned in.
The value I would give would be to be the lighthouse for God's light. Like whenever somebody encounter you, let them see God's light through you. Like let them be the reference point to God's light. Like you are the lighthouse to his light. That's what I want to share with y'all, that we all need to just be, just mounted up as lighthouses. Like if you think about a lighthouse, they provide the light for the ships that's out in the sea. So we provide that light for the people that's connected around us. So I don't care where you are in your journey, like you have reached a part of your journey that somebody is still working to get towards. So you can be that lighthouse. You can be that person that your sister, your cousin look to for that light. Like, dang, if Olivia did it, I can do it. So I want to just encourage everybody to mount up in who you are, which is the lighthouse for God's light, and to embrace where you are. Like, it's nothing so bad about where you are, because you either growing through it, you developing through it, you're believing through it, you're having faith through it. It's all for a reason. Whether you're in the dark or in the light, it's for a reason. You are where you are for a reason, and to just embrace it.
Man, oh my gosh. Thank you. Like so much.
You're welcome.
Even coming on Growth Talk go ahead. Definitely go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I have my book right here. I finally got the copy last night. It's called Out of the Darkness into the Light. And but yes, it's the back cover with just letting people know that to pray through it, believe through it, grow through it, learn through it, forgive through it, and to build through it. Like wherever you are, those are your keys to get to that next level of a greater you. But it will be available March 6th on Amazon, but you can pre-order now. I'm challenging myself. I want to sign 200 pre-order copies. I'm praying. I'm asking God and telling him that's what I want. I want to sit down and experience being able to sign 200 copies personally.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Y'all check in the comments on where you can pre-order her book now.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, it's not COVID. Where you can pre-order her book now, and also where you can find her on all of the platforms as well. Man, this has been amazing. Oh my goodness. Do you want to end with anything, Olivia?
Just like I said before, is to just on Sunday I preached the message that this is the year of the Lord's favor. So I just want to encourage everyone to just grab hold to that this is the year of his favor of giving you what you want, his favor of approval, his favor of just being in his presence, like his favor. This is the year of his favor, of us just being knowledgeable of who he is and who he is in our lives. But I just want everybody to just grasp that and hold on to it for the rest of the year, that this is the year of the Lord's favor. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, this is the year of the Lord's favor.
Thank you. And I claim it.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank y'all for tuning in to episode 2 of Growth Talk with Miss Olivia. We out this thing.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.